What's up guys, Itchy here. Today I am bringing you Frontier Hunter, and this is Terminus. So if you are not familiar with Terminus, be warned, this is absolutely ridiculous. It is not easy, it is very hard, and you need to be prepared. Unlike me, I was not very prepared for this. I have a Michelle, and a Zelban with me. My Loden is usually with me, but instead I have Felnius because that's the way friends worked out. I don't have any Felnius friends available. I have tons of Loden friends. So anyway, yeah, my Loden isn't up to speed. He's only SBB 3. My Michelle's only SBB 5. My Zelban's only SBB 7. So I was caught a little bit off guard. I wasn't really ready for this, but yeah, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing anyway. So you can see here I have a little bit of a ragtag team, but it works out very well. Instead of normally going for spark like you would in the other parts of the Frontier Hunter, this time you would be going for elemental damage. And the way you're going to do that, you're going to have Michelle cast fire, you're going to have Gra cast light and dark, even though there aren't any dark units, so you only really need the dark cast. And also Zelban's going to cast earth, and I have Gra in there instead of dual SGX because my dual SGX has SBB 1, and it just does not help me out at all. The critical is nice and all, but it really doesn't help when I'm trying to do other things. So anyway, Douglas is also in there, so I have some extra hits so I can make sure that I get my Brave Burst up as quickly as possible, and then Felnius always, because, you know, he's Felnius. But anyway, he is my lead. So anyway, I'm going to show you exactly what I do. Here I'm going to go ahead and use an attack elixir, and we're going to go ahead and use Fujin elixirs on Michelle, Loden, Douglas, and Zelban. And the way this works is Michelle's going to give us the extra attack, Loden's going to make sure we're going to do extra damage to that water unit, Douglas is going to make sure everybody gets their Brave Burst, and Zelban's going to make sure we do extra damage to that thunder unit. And also make sure we get our defense up, because that's going to be a huge problem. When you're running the Marauder set like this, you're going to be taking more damage. So yeah, let's go ahead and get things started here. No, I threw them out in that order because I want Michelle to help me do as much damage as possible, and Douglas is going to create enough spark that I get my Brave Burst, so I want to make sure I have that going as well. So everyone got their stuff back. As long as there's 4 enemies like that, it's really not a problem, and as you can see here, we're not taking a whole lot of damage. Actually, if you didn't see there, we're taking 1s in some cases, and that's because Zelban's defensive boost is absolutely awesome. But don't be fooled, because these levels get very, very difficult, increasingly difficult in fact. And now I have everything set up in a different order. I've set it up so that I would be able to put everything out in the right order this time around, and I'm confusing myself. So I will go here left to right each time. I could have done Douglas before Michelle, probably would have been the better option there, but we'll see how we go. I may do Felnius, Douglas, Michelle, Loden, Zelban, Gra. Might be the best way to go. Either way, we managed to finish them all off. The idea is you want to try and finish everything off within 2 to 3 turns, because if not, you will get your face smashed in. Level 3 seems to be the hardest one so far, because if you are not prepared to take out at least 1 to 2 enemies, you're going to have a lot of trouble. So anyway, this one, not too bad. I don't have anybody to give me a water element, which is unfortunate because there are a lot of fire units. But let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the attack elixir. I'm going to make sure that Michelle has her attack up so we make sure we do as much damage as possible, but I want to use Felnius first, and that's only because I don't think I'm going to be able to get all of my Brave Burst back unless I have Felnius going right away. So let's go ahead and do this. So right there we were able to get Lauren down to about half energy, and that's great because that means we're going to have a little less trouble next time. Now unfortunately we did not get Douglas's Super Brave Burst back, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use Loden's regular Brave Burst to make sure I get it. May even give me Felnius's Brave Burst in the meantime as well, but we'll find out. Either way, that should help out a lot, and then also we'll go ahead and attack in our normal order. Good thing about a high sparking team, even though this team doesn't spark nearly as much as a team of Douglas's, you're able to take advantage of all the heart crystals that drop, so you don't need to worry about heals nearly as much. So we should be able to finish things off in 3 turns, and we have everyone's Brave Burst, which is a huge help here. Hopefully we don't take too much damage in the interim. So we did manage to take him out in 3 turns. Let's hope for Brave Burst. Looks like we got everything back, so that's great. Just so you know, I have Divine Stones on everyone, and that helps out a lot because since we always have Brave Burst, we're able to have that 50% buff to both attack, defense, and recovery at all times. Now, this is by far the hardest stage, in my opinion. These guys will smash your teeth in before you can do anything about it, so you need to be completely prepared for this. Alulu, for one, needs to go down immediately. So I will be putting out Zelban as soon as possible, and I don't think I'm going to spark as well, but who really cares? The main thing is I want to take them out as fast as possible. So what I'll do is, since there's 4 enemies, I don't need to worry about putting out Felnius first. I'm going to go ahead and use Michelle, then Zelban, and then the rest. Most likely Douglas, Loden, Gra, and then Felnius. I should actually put out Gra earlier than that, only because there are no water units, so I don't need Loden right away. But there is a light unit, so I want to make sure I get that dark cast. So what I'll do here is I will do Michelle. Well, let me use my attack potion first of all, before I forget that, because that would be very troublesome. Okay, so I will use Michelle, I'll use Zelban, then I'll use Douglas Gra, or Gra Douglas, Loden Felnius. Oh no! Come on. Okay, that's a huge damper. You're about to see the worst case scenario, and that is most of my team gets taken out. That's why we have the full revives, but unfortunately you do make mistakes along the way, so you deal with it as it comes. So let's hope we can at least survive some of this. Not having that attack up is going to be a huge, huge problem. There's no way I'm taking out a Lulu in this turn. You're going to see me take a ton of damage, probably take out, I'm going to say 3 units, worst case scenario 6. We actually only lost 1, it seems like. That's never happened before. I've had all 6 go down, I've had 3 go down, usually 3 go down if I don't do that, but as you can see there, lots and lots of damage. You do not want that to happen. Your team will get in a lot of trouble if that happens. And I'm actually going to go ahead and use up a bunch of pure elixirs because I don't actually use them a whole lot. Not a lot of status ailments in this, thank God, because that would be absolutely terrible if there were. I could probably heal up just off of heart crystals alone, but I'm not going to take that chance only because I've been given this much leeway as it is, so I'm going to go ahead and go down to 9 elixirs, and we will go ahead and use our Brave Burst the right way this time. I'm going to go ahead and use Michelle, and then we're going to go as normal. So thankfully we were able to take out probably most of these units. I think Lilith is going to be the only one still standing, which is huge because otherwise I would have been taking a lot of damage. And unfortunately we couldn't take out Lilith there, but no big deal. The point is we were able to survive, and she cannot do nearly enough damage to give me any problems here. So not only do we have all our Brave Bursts, but we're healed up. We're in good shape so far. Now the next level you're going to see is going to be either a huge problem or it's going to go just fine. The Moody Crystal. So the Moody Crystal will actually explode on you if you're not careful, and you will be in a lot of trouble if he does, because not only will he take all your units down to basically nothing, but he will also get rid of all of your Brave Bursts, which will make the next stage a lot harder. Now what I usually do is here I use all of my Brave Burst as much as possible until he gets pretty low, and then I just attack as normal to get all of my Brave Burst back. The reason being you get more attacks out of your Brave Burst than you would out of regular attacks. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I don't need to worry about specific order, except I can get a little bit of spark points out of this just by getting a little bit better spark than usual. Nothing too crazy, but as you can see here, when you're doing 1 damage, you're not going to be able to do much. The only counter to this, I guess you could say, would be using something that's going to ignore defense, but unfortunately there aren't a lot of units that are going to help you out a lot right now with that without sacrificing something. A lot of the ignored defense don't have 6 stars, except for maybe Lava, but she's really one unit that's probably going to hold you back more than anything else if you're only planning on clearing the stage without any issues. So it looks like we got a lot of Brave Burst back. We'll go ahead and use those. We've been lucky so far, but who knows, he could use it at any moment and that would be a huge problem. Hopefully we can finish him within the next 2 turns. He just filled up all of our Brave Burst, but I am going to attack as normal. Hopefully he doesn't use his big attack. And next turn we should finish him up. Cross your fingers. And I think we're okay. Alright. So he didn't blow up like he usually does, and when he does, let me tell you, it's really, really painful because it absolutely cripples you for the next round. But we got pretty lucky there. Only thing is, it's hard to farm decent points off of there. Luckily we have Gra, so at least we were able to get some weak element attacks in there. 29,000, not that huge, but not that bad, especially when you're going against one enemy like that. So here you have one of the easier stages. Either way, I'm still going to use an attack elixir to try and finish things up as soon as possible, and use Felnius first, since I want to be able to get my Brave Burst back as quickly as possible. So I'm going to go with the normal attack pattern, but I'm going to throw out Michelle so that I make sure I get my attack up. So as you can see there, we did some pretty decent damage. Managed to get Edea down to half, and I think we got all our Brave Burst back, so that's good. And they can't really do a ton of damage to really slow things down too much, so we should be okay. I think we just finished that up in 2 turns. That's awesome. That's a huge help. Only problem is Felnius didn't get his Brave Burst back. I think that may have given it to him. And we're actually doing pretty good on score. I think we might beat my old score, barring any serious incidents. So I'm going to go ahead and use the attack potion as normal. Here you have the Zelban Atro combo. You don't need to worry about these guys as much either. They're really not that hard either, as long as you're ready for it, as long as you have all your Brave Burst up and you didn't run into too many problems earlier on. So since we're going against 2, once again, Felnius. Probably could have put out Gra earlier so that I got the dark attack. But either way, these guys usually go down within 2 to 3 turns anyway without doing way too much damage. They are a little bit stronger than the last round, but not by a whole lot. And I still have 9 elixirs and 5 pure elixirs, so I'm doing okay on those as well. Looks like we should finish things up in 3 turns, so that's good news. Like I said, you don't want to prolong things, because the longer you prolong things, the more chance you have of getting your teeth smashed in. Not bad there, got everything back. And the final round. Yeah, so this one's interesting. These do a lot of damage. You have Zebra here, you have GX, and you also have Dilma. Now you need to be a little bit careful because Dilma will absolutely smack you in the face. But luckily we have a revive with us, so we should be okay. I'm going to go ahead and use my attack elixir, and since there's 3 enemies, I don't necessarily need to put Felnius out first, so I'll probably put him out second. I want to make sure I get my attack boost from Shell. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I was wrong, there are dark units at the end, so... Oh, I meant to use Gra's Brave Burst. That's probably going to be a problem. There are dark units at the end, so having his light attack is a huge help, because you'll get extra attack bonus off of that, plus finish things off pretty quickly. Luckily, we did get all our Brave Bursts back, so that's good news. And as you can see there, Loden went down very quickly. Nothing you can do about that, but that's why we have the revive. So, I'm going to throw out Graf first this time, so we make sure we're doing as much damage as possible. And hopefully we don't run into any more problems, because if they take anybody else down, this could run into an issue. Actually did some decent damage there. Hopefully we took somebody out in the process. Okay, Dilma, good, because he was the one doing the most damage. And we got all our Brave Bursts back. So yeah, I'm going to say this team actually does very well. I would highly suggest using this team because, well, as you can see here, we made it through without any serious issues. So, yeah, even with a few mistakes here and there, we were still able to complete this, and I think I'm going to come close to my record, if not past it. Like I said before, I was kind of ill-prepared for this, so my units don't have full Brave Burst. If they did, if I was a little bit stronger, I most likely would be beating my high score, and I would also probably be close to my friends. Most of them are scoring around 2 million and not having any trouble doing so. So yeah, as you can see there, we're definitely going to beat the old score, so that's good news. Anyway, guys, that pretty much does it for this. I want to let you guys know the No Life, No Problem podcast will be on Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be discussing all of the new updates that just came out, as well as Frontier Hunter, and we will also be going over some of the things that are due to come out soon. With me will be 4-Mana, Mofo, Blackula, Brave Knight Carl, and also we are going to have a special guest, Trey. Now, you may know him as Sammy, or S34MII, from YouTube. He will be one of the content creators that's going to be with us this week, so be sure you come and check us out, because that's going to be awesome. And we are going to be broadcasting live on Google Hangouts. I'm sure you can see it through my YouTube page, and that will be at 10 p.m. on Friday. That's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, and take it easy.